take a look at this handwritten draft. Between the chaotic scribbles, crossed-out measures, and heavy manual corrections, working this way meant spending more time managing paper than writing music. Erasing a single mistake could require rewriting an entire page. Today, we are going to bypass that friction entirely. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to use Sibelius to turn a completely blank screen into a pristine, performance-ready PDF, along with a MIDI file you can drop straight into any audio workstation. Before we begin, you need 3 things: an installed copy of Sibelius, a specific musical idea you want to map out, and a basic understanding of music theory. Making the switch to digital notation reclaims the hours you used to spend erasing smudges and drawing ledger lines, letting you put that time directly back into your creative output. Step 1 is defining our structure. When you open the software, you are greeted by the Quick Start menu. This is where you choose the blank template that best matches your ensemble. Once you pick a template, you will select the exact instruments you want to compose for, and then establish the overarching key and time signatures for the piece. When you add certain horns or woodwinds, you will encounter transposing instruments. These read music in a different key than they actually sound. Sibelius handles these pitch shifts automatically, so let the software do the work instead of trying to manually correct the transpositions yourself. A successful setup should look exactly like this generated interface mockup. You have a perfectly formatted blank dual instrument staff, neatly bracketed together, with the correct instrument names clearly labeled on the left. Locking these structural details in early ensures your layout scales cleanly as you write, preventing overlapping staves and massive formatting headaches down the line. Now that the page is ready, we need to populate it. The most efficient way to enter data is using the Sibelius keypad tool on screen, paired with your computer keyboard or a mouse. Selecting a rhythmic value on the keypad instantly places a black note directly onto the staff, advancing automatically. To solve clutter, the Voices feature separates overlapping rhythms into Voice 1 and Voice 2. Different colors keep the complex polyphony perfectly distinct and readable. With the pitches and rhythms locked in, you can move on to expression. This is when you apply articulations, like staccatos, and dynamics, like crescendos, to tell the musician exactly how a phrase should be played. When adding text for dynamics, do not just click and drag letters into empty space. You need to attach them directly to a specific note. Sibelius mechanically anchors the text to the note head, so if the measure shifts to another page later, your performance instructions travel with it. Because the software automatically manages these micro-adjustments and the formatting, you get to stay focused on the musicality of the piece rather than acting as a graphic designer. Next, we use the digital playback function. This is a mandatory proofreading step. It lets you catch subtle rhythmic clashes or harmonic errors your eyes might have missed. Notice how the green playback line sweeps across the complex staff. The software reads the MIDI data, rendering your written notes audibly in real time. Keep in mind, this is an automated MIDI rendering. It provides an accurate representation of the pitches and rhythms, but it doesn't replace the nuanced audio production of a final studio recording with live players. Even so, getting real-time auditory feedback bridges the gap between theoretical notation and practical reality. It serves as the ultimate error detection system for your workflow. With the notes proofread, we turn to the final layout. Before exporting, you need to adjust the vertical spacing between your staves and systems so the final page isn't overcrowded for the performer. Look at the musicians in this photo. They aren't reading from a dense master file. They are reading individual single instrument parts. Extracting these specific parts from your main score is an absolute requirement for any ensemble performance. Once the parts are separated, you run the final export. You will generate a PDF format for physical printing on music stands and a MusicXML file if you need to share the raw digital data with another composer. If you skip the part extraction and only export the full master score, your individual musicians will be stuck squinting at 50 staves trying to find their single line of music. By mastering this final step, you ensure you can instantly generate the exact varied deliverables required by the real-world music industry. Compare your finished, highly detailed PDF layout to the blank screen we started with at the Quick Start menu. Every margin, note, and dynamic is exactly where it needs to be. You now hold 2 critical assets: a physical sheet ready for the music stand, and a digital file primed for your digital audio workstation. As you can see in this perfectly engraved piano score, the formatting ceiling here is incredibly high. From here, your next steps might include arranging for a full orchestral ensemble or piping your MIDI data through advanced virtual instruments. Digital notation removes the friction between having a musical idea and putting it on the stand. By building a disciplined workflow, you can compose and distribute your work at an industry standard level.